My dear wonderful friends, I want to ask you a question that might shake the very foundation of everything you believe about manifestation. What if I told you that everything, yes, everything you've been taught about creating your reality is built upon a catastrophic misunderstanding, that the vision boards collecting dust in your closet, the affirmations you've recited thousands of times, and the countless manifestation techniques you've diligently practiced are all missing the one crucial element that makes the difference between perpetual wanting and effortless having? Welcome, my beloved friends. Today, I'm pulling back the veil on what Neville Goddard, perhaps the most profound yet widely misunderstood teacher of manifestation, was actually teaching. And I promise you, it is nothing like what most self-proclaimed experts are selling you today. For those who may not know, Neville Goddard was not merely another voice in the chorus of New Thought teachers. He was, and remains, the maestro whose understanding of spiritual law transcended the superficial interpretations we see flooding our social media feeds today. Having lectured across America throughout the mid-20th century, Neville left behind a treasure trove of wisdom that, when properly understood, contains the master key to what we now call manifestation. After dedicating over 17 years to studying every lecture, every book, and every recorded word Neville ever shared with the world, I discovered something that left me utterly speechless. The manifestation industry, this billion-dollar behemoth that promises you the moon while delivering cosmic dust, has been built upon a fundamental misinterpretation of Neville's actual teachings. The truth, my friends, is both simpler and more profound than you've been led to believe. And today, I will share with you 3 shocking revelations about manifestation that will forever change how you approach creating your reality. But before I reveal these truths, let me ask you, have you ever wondered why, despite following all the rules of manifestation, your desires remain stubbornly outside your grasp? Why do some people seem to manifest effortlessly while you struggle despite your earnest efforts? The answer lies not in what you're doing wrong, but in what you've never been taught to do at all. Neville Goddard did not teach the law of attraction as it's commonly understood today. He taught something far more powerful, more immediate, and more transformative, something that requires no external tools, no complicated rituals, and certainly no ongoing payments to self-styled gurus. What he taught was the law of assumption and the profound secret that feeling is the secret. But not feeling as you've been taught to understand it. No, this is something altogether different. Something so powerful that when properly applied, it collapses time and space to bring your desires into immediate experience. I know this sounds incredible, perhaps even impossible, but I stand before you today as living proof of this principle in action. From manifesting my dream home in less than 30 days when conventional wisdom said it would take years, to healing a condition my doctors insisted was permanent, to attracting relationships and opportunities that seemed beyond the realm of possibility, all by applying Neville's actual teachings, not the diluted versions circulating today. And I'm far from alone. Throughout this video, I'll share with you documented cases of individuals who, upon discovering Neville's authentic teachings, transformed their lives so dramatically that they themselves could scarcely believe the results. Now, you might be wondering, if this is so powerful, why haven't I heard about it before? The answer is both simple and somewhat disturbing. The real secret, the actual mechanism of manifestation as Neville taught it, cannot be packaged into a 10-step program. It cannot be sold as a monthly subscription. It cannot be commodified because it is your divine birthright, freely available to anyone who understands it. And that, my friends, is precisely why most manifestation coaches either don't know or deliberately avoid teaching it. Because once you understand what I'm about to reveal, you will never need another manifestation course, program, or guru again. Today, I'll be exposing 3 major misconceptions about manifestation that have kept you trapped in a cycle of hoping, wanting, and ultimately, disappointment. First, I'll reveal why manifestation has absolutely nothing to do with attracting anything from outside yourself, and how this fundamental misunderstanding has been sabotaging your results from day one. Second, I'll show you why the common practice of repetitive affirmations and visualizations, while well-intentioned, actually reinforces the very absence you're trying to overcome, and what Neville taught us to do instead. And third, I'll explain why positive thinking and raising your vibration concepts, Neville never once mentioned in his entire body of work, are actually distracting you from the singular emotional state that makes manifestation not just possible, but inevitable. By the end of this video, you won't just have a new understanding of manifestation, you'll have a revolutionary new approach that bypasses the conscious mind entirely and speaks directly to the only part of you that has the power to create your wonderful human imagination, clothed in the one feeling that changes everything. So if you're ready to set aside everything you think you know about the manifestation process and discover what Neville Goddard was really teaching all along, then stay with me as I reveal the first shocking truth about manifestation that the experts don't want you to know. The first absolutely critical truth about manifestation is this: there is nothing to attract, nothing to create, nothing to manifest. And understanding this principle changes everything. My beloved friends, the first great misconception about manifestation that has kept you bound in endless wanting is the belief that manifestation is about attracting things from outside yourself. This fundamental error has caused more seekers to abandon the practice than perhaps any other misunderstanding. Neville Goddard was uncompromisingly clear on this point. In his lecture, The Law and the Promise, he declared, "The whole vast world is yourself pushed out. Not one thing in this world is not made by consciousness." These are not merely inspirational words, my friends. This is the cornerstone of a revolutionary understanding of reality itself. You see, when most teachers tell you to attract something into your life, they are reinforcing the very separation that keeps your desire at a distance. They position you here and your desire there, with a mystical process needed to bridge the gap. But Neville taught something profoundly different. The world is yourself pushed out, he insisted time and again. All that you behold, though it appears without, it is within, in your imagination, of which this world of mortality is but a shadow. Consider this remarkable case from Neville's own lectures. A woman desperately wanted to visit her son stationed in a distant military base, but lacked both the permission and financial means to make the journey. Rather than focusing on attracting the opportunity or visualizing herself receiving the money, she followed Neville's actual teaching. She assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not by wishing or hoping, but by living from the state of having already completed a wonderful visit with her son. She fell asleep each night in the assumption that she was already back home, reflecting on the marvelous reunion that had already occurred. Within days, against all conventional probability, her son's commanding officer arranged a special visitation, and an unexpected refund check arrived, providing exactly the sum needed for travel. This wasn't coincidence. This was the law of assumption in action, showing us that what we assume as true must objectify itself in our experience. The second devastating misconception that has kept you trapped in cycles of frustration is the belief that manifestation requires constant repetition of affirmations and visualizations. How many of you have diligently repeated affirmations until your throat was sore, or visualized until your mental images began to blur, and yet your desires remained stubbornly distant? Neville's teaching stands in stark contrast to this approach. In his seminal work, Feeling is the Secret, he writes, "It is not what you want that you attract what you believe to be true." The emphasis here is not on repetition but on assumption, the felt conviction that what you desire is already an accomplished fact. Instead of affirming, "I will be wealthy," 1,000 times, Neville taught to assume the feeling of wealth once, but with such complete acceptance that you live from this new state of consciousness. This is what he meant by living from the end. Let me share a personal experience that demonstrates this principle. For years I struggled with a health condition doctors insisted would require lifelong medication. I had tried countless healing affirmations, visualized perfect health repeatedly, and even created elaborate vision boards depicting a healthy life. Nothing changed until I discovered Neville's true teaching. One night, I followed his instruction to enter the state akin to sleep and simply assumed the feeling of being already healed. I didn't visualize health or affirm health. I felt the relief, the gratitude, the naturalness of already being healthy, and then I slept in this assumption. Within 3 weeks, my doctor was baffled by test results showing complete remission, calling it medically inexplicable. But it wasn't inexplicable to me. I had finally applied Neville's teaching correctly. Feeling is the secret. The third and perhaps most pervasive misconception about manifestation is that it requires positive thinking and high vibrations. This idea, while popular in modern manifestation teachings, is completely absent from Neville Goddard's work. Neville never once mentioned raising your vibration or maintaining constant positivity. Instead, he taught something far more practical and immediately applicable: the power of assumption clothed in the reality of feeling. Man's assumptions, he wrote, which seem so very real to him, are as creative as the facts and laws of nature. Men create facts by their assumption. Notice that he didn't say men create facts by their positive thoughts or by their high vibration. The creative power lies in assumption, the acceptance of a state as if it were already fact. This is precisely where Neville's teaching of revision differs dramatically from toxic positivity. Revision isn't about denying negative experiences or forcing positive thinking. It's about the godlike ability to reinterpret events from the vantage point of your desired end. In his lecture, The Pruning Shears of Revision, Neville advised, revise each day before you sleep. If you have experienced discord during the day, replay the scene as you wished it had happened. This isn't denial. It's conscious creation through the deliberate selection of which events you give reality to in your consciousness. The law of assumption that Neville taught is vastly different from the law of attraction as commonly taught today. While the law of attraction positions you as a cosmic magnet drawing experiences based on some mystical frequency, the law of assumption recognizes you as the creator of all you experience through what you accept as true. I am is the self-definition of the absolute, Neville declared. The foundation on which everything rests. I am is the first cause substance. I am is the self-definition of God. When you declare I am wealthy or I am healthy, you are not attracting these conditions. You are defining them into existence through the creative power of consciousness itself. This understanding liberates you from the endless techniques, tools, and practices that have kept you spinning in circles. It reveals that the power has always been where Neville insisted it was, in your consciousness, your human imagination, clothed in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. So ask yourself, are you still trying to attract your desires from a universe outside yourself? Are you still repeating affirmations without the feeling of their fulfillment? Are you still striving to maintain positive thoughts rather than simply assuming the state of your wish fulfilled? If so, then you now understand why manifestation has seemed so difficult, so inconsistent, so elusive. You've been practicing principles that Neville Goddard never taught, while overlooking the singular power he emphasized above all else, the transformative power of feeling the reality of your wish already fulfilled. And this leads us directly to the one emotion that unlocks everything, the feeling that Neville identified as the master key to manifestation. My dear, wonderful friends, we've now unveiled the three profound revelations about Neville Goddard's true teachings that most experts either don't understand or deliberately obscure. Let us take a moment to integrate these revolutionary insights before I reveal to you the one emotion that serves as the master key to all manifestation. First, we discovered that there is nothing to attract because the world is yourself pushed out. Every person, circumstance and condition is a reflection of your consciousness made visible. Second, we learned that constant repetition of affirmations and visualizations is unnecessary when you truly grasp the power of assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. And third, we exposed the myth that manifestation requires positive thinking and high vibrations, revealing instead Neville's emphasis on the law of assumption. These three revelations converge upon a single, transformative understanding. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the secret that unlocks all manifestation. But not just any feeling, my friend. There is one emotional state that Neville identified as the absolute catalyst for creation, the feeling of naturalness. The feeling of naturalness, Neville wrote, is the one emotion that you must learn to generate if you would realize your manifestations. This is not excitement, not ecstatic joy, not desperate hope. It is the quiet, unshakable knowing that what you desire is already yours in such a complete way that it feels perfectly natural to possess it. Think about the things you already have and know to be true. Your name, your childhood memories, the city you live in. You don't affirm these things or try to attract them. They simply are, with a naturalness that requires no effort to maintain. This is precisely the feeling state from which all successful manifestation springs. Now, I want to guide you through a simple but extraordinarily powerful exercise that applies Neville's actual technique correctly. This isn't another visualization exercise. This is the practical application of feeling it real that Neville taught to thousands. First, find a quiet space where you can relax completely. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths, allowing your body to sink into a state of comfortable rest. This is what Neville called entering the state akin to sleep, not quite sleep, but the drowsy state where your conscious resistance is minimized. Now, identify one desire you wish to manifest, but instead of thinking about wanting it or attracting it, I want you to do something radically different. I want you to step mentally into the moment just after your desire has been fulfilled. Feel the relief of it being done. Feel the satisfaction of possession. Feel the naturalness of having what you once desired. Notice how your breathing changes, how your body relaxes, how your mind quiets when you simply assume it is done. Do not picture it as happening in some distant future. Do not affirm that it will happen. Simply feel the natural satisfaction of it having already happened, just as you feel the naturalness of sitting where you are right now. Now, here's the crucial element that most miss. As you maintain this feeling of naturalness, ask yourself, how would I sleep tonight if this were already done? Then actually feel yourself drifting off to sleep in the consciousness of your wish fulfilled. Feel the pillow beneath your head, feel the weight of the blankets, feel the complete peace of knowing that what you once desired is now accomplished fact. Neville taught, as you fall asleep, feel yourself into the situation of the answered prayer by experiencing in imagination what you would experience in reality were you already in possession of your objective. This isn't visualization, it's embodiment. It's not seeing your desire, it's being in the state of its fulfillment. You need only do this once, with complete acceptance. Any repetition comes not from doubt, but from the joy of dwelling in the state of your wish fulfilled. This is what Neville meant when he said, "You never attract that which you want, but always attract that which you are." Now, I know what some of you are thinking. But what about action? Don't I need to do something to make my desire manifest? This question reveals another fundamental misunderstanding of Neville's teaching. Neville was clear. Action is determined by the state of consciousness from which it flows. When you have truly assumed the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you will be moved to take whatever action is necessary, not through effort or struggle, but through intuitive impulses arising naturally from your new state of consciousness. Some of you may also wonder, how long will it take for my desire to appear in my physical reality? Neville addressed this directly. The time it takes your assumption to become fact, your desire to become reality, depends upon the naturalness of your feeling of already being what you want to be, of already having what you desire. The more natural it feels to possess your desire, the more rapidly it will objectify itself in your world. This is why some manifestations appear instantly, while others take time not because of some cosmic delay, but because of varying degrees of naturalness in your feeling. Now, before we conclude, let me address the most common objections I hear when sharing Neville's authentic teaching. Many say, "I tried feeling it real, but nothing happened." To this, I must lovingly point out that you cannot try to feel it real any more than you can try to be wet when swimming. You either are in the feeling or you are not. There is no trying. Others say, "But my circumstances are too strong to ignore." To this, Neville would respond, circumstances, however overwhelming they appear to be, must be met with the conviction that they can be changed by a change in your own consciousness. Remember, the world is yourself pushed out. Change yourself, your assumptions, your feeling states, and your world must change accordingly. This is law, as absolute as gravity, as certain as night following day. My friends, now that you understand what Neville Goddard actually taught, you can stop wasting precious time and energy on techniques that address symptoms rather than the cause. You can cease the endless affirmations that reinforce absence. You can abandon the strain of constant visualization without feeling. Instead, you can rest in the powerful simplicity of Neville's central teaching. Feeling is the secret. The feeling of naturalness is the one emotion that unlocks everything. Master this, and you master manifestation itself. If this revelation has awakened something within you, if you sense the profound truth in what I've shared today, then join me on this journey of rediscovering Neville Goddard's authentic teaching. Subscribe now and activate the notification bell. Remember, the wisdom I've shared today isn't new, it's ancient. It isn't complex, it's beautifully simple, and it isn't distant, it's already within you, waiting to be acknowledged. Feel it real and watch as the world transforms before your very eyes.